Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi, back again. News, views, and well, I would talk about the further decline, but it looked like there's some fight back in the legislatures of the United States, primarily in the more conservative districts or states. When I say people are getting tired, I mean just that. People are getting tired. All right. We talk about the wall, but I don't think people are, except for some of the brothers that's starting to realize how serious it is. Um, the ones that have been caping for this foolishness are starting to see that, oh, there's some real SH going on here. All right. That people are getting sick and tired, and people are paying close attention to what's going on with the society in America. And the people that are paying attention, history is not lost on them. They know what happened to the Romans. They know what happened to the Greeks. As a matter of fact, they know what happened to every single society that digressed into the situation where, well, nobody knew who they were biologically. That human beings start committing crimes against natural instincts and nature. And what happens when that happens? Well, they begin to go extinct. And basically, you kind of have this happening in the United States, and people are getting concerned. But it seems like that the only people that are really paying attention to it is those on the right. All right. Well, let me about to show you what's really going on. And this Alabama law, this bill passed to do away with the marriage license, is kind of seem like a win-win for everybody, but it's a lose for femme expectation, and it's a big loss because this whole thing came about be as a result of their support for everybody outside of the community of the nuclear family. All right, people who wanted to see the nuclear family destroyed. So what happens when the nuclear family start fighting back? You get this law because people decided to stand up for principle and not be bullied around. Oh, and there was plenty of bullying. That's what America is about. They'll tell you it's not. The people that do this bullying don't want you to bully them while they bully others. All right. Well, now you got people that's just, having at it in the legislature and standing up for their beliefs, whether you agree with them or not. At least they're standing for what they believe. And you're starting to see the hypocrisy on the side of people who are getting what they want, but are still not happy because their goal was not to get what they want, but to crush the other person's beliefs. We'll get to that. Let me greet everybody real quick. Havorten Hardu Gudag. Ola oi to the bang. Fasas los. Bonjour mes amis. Kedu bawani konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama. Sani bonani. Jumbo or baragani. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. All right, let me remind you, let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the thumbs up or click the notification bell. We all know that Google is hiding certain channels, so some of the times you just might have to type in Reluctant Nabi Neo again just to see what new videos came up. All right, so you type in Reluctant Nabi Neo, you go to video and or go to uploads, and you can see the videos in order from newest to oldest that I put up. All right, my donation link, remember, for those who donate, I got a lot of stuff too. For those who care to donate, remember, take care of yourself and family first. And I have something for those who've already donated, who helped make this trip possible, and those who are thinking to do so. Um, I am able to check my PayPal me and see who's donated. Please, if you donated, send me an address so that I can send you something that a souvenir that I bring back from here. All right. So with that said, let's move it right along so you can see what's really going on. All right. So the article was done by Mike Carson in Mason, Alabama.com, right? The link to the story will be in the description box. Okay, the Alabama House of Representatives gave final passage today to a bill that would end the issuance of marriage licenses. I wanted to take that pause right there, the dramatic pause, so that for those of you that follow me, you know that I put up the history of the marriage license. I put up the complete history of the marriage license. I put up the significance of 1924. All right, so I want y'all to pay attention to that. I put up the fact that the marriage license was never ordained by Scripture. Now, we can all recall that a lot of black women said that they don't want, they don't consider a relationship a marriage or a husband-wife relationship until they have a piece of paper by the state. All right, so they are acknowledging that they're not looking for a relationship from the Most High. They're looking for the state to co-sign on their relationship. So what are these women going to do now when the state decides to no longer co-sign on said relationships? And it is all because they supported everything that went against the family, but still wanted the piece of paper. All right. So basically, this is going to be done away with, right? And so they gave final passage today, the day this was written, to a bill that would end the issuances of marriage licenses by probate judges and instead have them record documents that would serve as the official record of marriage. So the judges no longer give their authority to a relationship. You have to decide how you are going to settle that this woman is your wife, that man is your husband, at least in Alabama. Oh, and you know it takes one state to start something, and then all the conservative states are going to fall in line. And guess what? The people with the money and the desire for family will move to the conservative states. All right. So they will have them record documents that will serve as the official record of marriage. The bill goes to Governor Kay Ivey, who could sign it into law. All right. The legislation came in response to the legalization of the same-sex marriage by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2015. In Alabama, some probate judges stopped issuing marriage licenses for 4 years. 4 years ago because they did not want to sign same-sex marriage licenses. In other words, The Supreme Court superseded everybody's constitutionally protected right to freedom of religion to give others superior rights to those whose rights were protected by the Constitution. This, y'all, means that the United States Constitution don't mean nothing but a hill of beans to the Supreme Court, to the Congress in the United States, and to many of the people in America. This right here proves it. People will work to take away rights that are protected by the constitutions so they can get privilege. There's a difference between a right and a privilege. All right? This is a privilege. The license and what it gives women is a privilege. What it gives people that wanted it is privilege. All right? What it gave the judges, in this case, was a conflict. So they passed this bill. And I want you to understand this stuff. This bill was kind of a good compromise. The judges don't have to feel conflicted. They're just recording what somebody else already done. Right? The same-sex couple get what they want. But wait a minute. That's not what they wanted. Under the bill that passes today, couples wanting to get married would submit to the probate judge a form that indicates an affidavit saying they meet the legal requirements of marriage, and the probate judge would record that as official marriage document. All right, it's an affidavit. Period. No more licenses. It's an affidavit. Period. Is reverting back to biblically how you would come together, even though it's not biblically ordained, for those that believe in the Bible, the same sex thing. But see, this is the United States, so you can do whatever you want to do. All right. The House passed a bill by Senator Great Albritton, Republican range, by a vote of 67 to 26. It had already passed the Senate. Probate judges in some counties are still not issuing marriage licenses. The current law does not require them to issue license, but say they may. All right. Under Albertson's bill, probate judges would be required to accept and record the official marriage documents, this affidavit. It allows everybody in the states now to go to their local courthouse or wherever to accomplish this without traveling somewhere else, which is the intent of the law. Albritton said, or Albritton, I don't know how to say his name, said, the bill will also require that marriage be, let me reread this. The bill will also end the requirement that a marriage be solemnized by a minister or another person qualified to do so. So now, all them the jellyback ministers that got up and thought that if they supported anybody getting a marriage license, that they was going to get this money because they'll have to come to them, and they were allowing everything in the church. Why? Because it made them money. It just took not only that money away, say from the same-sex couples and stuff, but it also took away the money for the traditional husband and wife, man, woman. It took all that away. Now, everybody gets to bypass the minister who got a cut in this wedding thing. Oh yeah, they cut the money. Okay? They cut the money to the ministers. They short-tracked it. Why? Because while the ministers didn't stand up, who say they speak for the Lord, according to the Bible, many judges did in conservative states. Many others caved to whatever the whim of the political wings did, the special interest groups did. They say, we're going to confiscate, we're going to just obliterate people's rights within the Constitution. Period. So that the people that had the most money would have more privilege. Because those are the people that were able to organize. The people that had all the money, that knew the system. Why? Because they studied it, because they had all the money to go to college to do so. So they took away the actual rights of the oppressed, gave themselves superior rights by buying out Congress, and now you're starting to get some pushback by the conservative wing. All right, among those voting against the bill, now, this is why I said, even though these people got what they want, is not what they wanted. They did not want fairness. They did not want equality. Understand this. Understand what this guy is saying. Among those voting against the bill today was Representative Neil Rafferty, Democrat, Birmingham, who is gay and married to his partner of 15 years in December. So he just got married to this guy. I feel like, while in and of itself it is not prejudice, I feel like it was born out of prejudice, though. So the bill is not prejudice. Understand? But because people were looking for a way, and understand this, everybody is prejudiced. This guy that wrote this is prejudiced. He is prejudiced against the straight people. The straight people may be prejudiced against him. There's nothing wrong with that. That means that the straight people stand for something and he want what he want. Right? But here's the difference. He said, Rafferty said, that's kind of my ultimate feelings. Why I ultimately could not support the bill, even though in and of itself, it does create a system that treats everyone equal before the state. Understand what the guy just said. He said he is not for a bill that creates everyone equal because of his feelings. And he did not vote for it because they were not about right and wrong. They were not. They weren't caring about being equal, because when you really look at it, this gives him superior rights to me as an Afro man in the United States, because he has a PAC, and he has a lobbying group behind what he likes to do in his bedroom to push forward to take away my constitutional rights to believe what spiritually I believe in. All right. He said he believes the bill would allow probate judges who are not issuing marriage license because of their personal beliefs, and let's make this clear, because of their spiritual beliefs, because of their beliefs that are protected under the Constitution. The First Amendment, right? To skirt their responsibilities. So understand how the Constitution does not mean anything to this guy. I think it's far less about good governance and more about protecting folks who don't want to do their jobs. So he wanted to force people to make his feelings feel good. He was not about justice. He was not about equality. The movement is not about justice or equality, because if it was about justice or equality, this bill right here should have shut everybody up. Now, I bet you're wondering why you see all these women with tears, right? In the same way that dude is going to be distraught, these women are going to be distraught. All right, because this take away some just heat on the dude. All right, and you can see the dominoes falling where just men are getting tired of the BS and getting tired of the ringer that these women and their special interest groups are putting them through. All right, so the Republican, Representative Wes Allen, Republican, was among those voting for the bill. This is what's significant about him. He is a former probate judge in Pike County and stopped issuing marriage licenses in 2015. I believe marriage is between a man and a woman. Why does he believe that? Because that's what Scripture says. And hold on. And what's protected by the Constitution? His beliefs was not the other guy's feelings. But his feelings get to supersede this man's beliefs according to the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, his feelings get to supersede the Constitution according to the Supreme Court. All right. As do a lot of Alabamians, Allen said. He noted that about 80% of Alabama voters approved a constitutional amendment 80%. So they approved a constitutional amendment defining marriage as a unique relationship between a man and a woman in 2006. The probate judge had to sign the marriage licenses, Allen said, and effectively by your signature going on the licenses, basically, in my opinion, you're endorsing because you're a judge, and that's what it is. And these people wanted people that did not believe in what they were doing because of their spiritual beliefs, which are protected under the Constitution, to basically be forced to endorse something that is against their spiritual beliefs. That's wickedness. But it is your signature. He said, it's your signature. Just like you're signing a check, you're endorsing it. And that was one of the objections that I had back in 2015. Right? And you know why? Because no one considers the Constitution in the United States on the left, period. And because they have the money and they have the political wheels through the media, they are forcing their issues on everybody else and against the Constitution. In other words, you don't have rights. Their feelings matter over your rights. Now, what's happening is in this pushback, you're going to have many more women hitting that wall. You're going to have many more dudes saying, no, we're going to go to Alabama, or we're going to help other states overturn this marriage license thing, is because it's been used as a bludgeoning against men, especially Afro men. We're sick and tired of it. Right? So there's going to be plenty of tears. And it's not going to be the end of it. The very women, the so-called daughters of Eve, all right, who backed every wickedness against the Afro man. This is going to be another blight on her. All right, because what's happening she got so comfortable with saying it's not done until they get the piece of paper from the state. Now the state is proving that God had nothing to do with the marriage license, because the state giveth, the state taketh away. And there's going to be many tears as they get older with all these babies and finally realize they're going to have to hit the wall alone with the mess they created in the community based on who they decided to get with and based on who they decided to back and unite with against the Afro man. And it's going to be the sad day when women alike across the spectrum in the United States start to realize that that wall is there, they can't get through it, and they're there at it alone. Oh, and by the way, the only comfort that they have is there will be many more women at that wall alone without the male and family, hitting it as it wins over and over again. Yep, that script was flipped, wasn't it? That's why this is a no depolicing zone. Because now brothers get to pick in more comfort people that aren't these women that have been against us and not suitable as good wives. We get to be choicy about wives, and we have less of a hurdle in order to overcome, in order to start building families again. With that said, I'm out.